Okay.
All right. All right. Again, my name's Alyssa and that's Mary, and we are going to go ahead and get started. So as always, starting out, we're just going to get our necks moving. So I want you to take your ear and bring it down to your shoulder and then switch sides. Feel that kind of nice stretch right through your traps. Just go down as far as is comfortable. If one side's tighter, maybe you need to work on that. And then now take a rotation. So try to get your nose to your shoulder. Again, just go as far as is comfortable. And Kathleen, the answer is yes. You will have access to these recordings, I believe, on Revel, right, Mary?
Well, I'll be sending it out tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Last thing, up and down. And take it away.
Okay, so our next warm-up is reaching to the outside of your foot. So just gently leaning over and reaching towards the outside of your foot. Press your hips back to minimize that bending over pressure on your back. So it's just reaching to the outside of your foot. Nice. You'll probably end up bending your leg as you do that. Two more on each side. That's one. There's one, and one more on each side. And this is the last one. Okay.
So now this one, I like to hang on to something while I'm doing this because it makes it less of a balance exercise. But all you're going to do is just take your leg out to the side as far as you can. If you have hip arthritis, sometimes that limits that motion. But if you can, I want you to try to kick it up as high as you can. Like I said, hanging on to something gets you a little bit more range. And 5 more on this side, and then we'll switch to the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and switch. I really want to challenge you to get it up as high as you can. We're moving into these ranges of motion that we don't move into very often, or just keep it nice and low, whatever works for you. And we have 5 more on this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one.
So to go along with that one, we'll do a forward swing. So it'll be forward, and if you can add back, fine. But if you do, you might want to hold on to something. And you could tap your toe in the middle if that helps.
These also start to wake up the other hip as well. And so these are.
Yes. And then the other side. Two more, 1 and 2.
Okay, now moving up to the upper body, what I want you to do is I want you to reach across as far as you can. Make your arm as long as you can. You're turning your shoulders and reaching, and you should feel it kind of all throughout here, especially if it's tight. But you're not just reaching across. Make sure you turn your shoulders. We don't rotate very often throughout the day, so it's good to add some rotation into a warm-up. I want you to really reach as far as you can comfortably. 5, 4, 3, make that arm long. 2, and last one.
Okay, and now we have the 3-way lunges I like to do to get started. Just a small, sort of a mini lunge to the forward, a mini lunge side, and a mini lunge to the back. So now you're going to use the other leg and go back. So the pattern is sort of going in a circle. side, and forward. And again, forward with the right leg, side with the right leg, and reverse with the right leg. Now we're going to switch to the left leg. Little mini lunge, side lunge, and forward. And we'll do one more circle. So forward with the right, lateral or side lunge, reverse lunge. And again, on the left leg goes back, and it's a lateral or side lunge and forward. And I think we're ready for some agility.
Yes. So I want you to imagine that there is a line in front of your feet. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to start on one side of the, make sure you have some room, because what you're going to do is you're going to touch that line as you move side to side. So hit both feet on that line in front, that imaginary line in front of you as you move sideways. So you can take it slow. So broken down, it's 1, 2, back, 1, 2, back, 1, 2, back. But I want you to speed it up once you get the hang of it. So you're moving forward, but then also sideways. All right, ready? Here we go. Really challenge yourself to see if you can speed this up. Touch that line with both feet in front of you. Starting to get that blood flowing, those heart rates going.
I do this with an agility ladder. So each time you land in the ladder and then you're outside. So you go forward into the square of the ladder and back out.
Let's go for about 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1.
Okay. All right. So today's workout is 7 minutes, 4 times. So 4 7-minute circuits. And you're going to do it at your own pace. And every exercise you do 7 times. First circuit, 2 exercises. So if there's 2 sides to it, you would do it 7 on each side. You need your band. So here we are. This is going to be a squat. So move your hands down as far as you need to get the resistance you like. Squat back with your hips going back. Now you're down here and you're going to do a row and come back up. So it's squat, row, and come back up. Squat, row, and come back up. Okay? And then the second one is we'll have Alyssa show us the second one.
So you're going to need some dumbbells, and it's a bridge with a chest press. So you're going to be on the ground. You're going to lift your hips up so they're off the ground, and then you're just going to press and come back up. So laying down, the movement looks like this. You're pressing and coming back down. Pressing and coming back down. If you have light weights and this feels pretty easy, speed it up. Make those muscles really start to work when you are on the ground. Okay, for the squat one, if you need to, I always liked, one of the modifications I like to make, especially if it makes your knees kind of angry, is if you're here, stand in front of a wall or a chair. Have some sort of target that you're going to hit behind you, because if you don't, we're going to bring your knees forward. So have a target you can hit with your bottom, whether it's a chair or a wall. That seems to work really well.
I like that.
Okay? So
Alyssa will keep a really nice steady pace, and I'll attempt to speed it up for those of you who want a little more. So there's going to be a 5-second warm up so I can get in position.
3,
And
2,
here we go.
1.
With the squat.
Exercise 1.
So you're doing
Squat,
7 of each.
squat and row.
And we're going for 7 minutes, so keep that in mind.
And your elbows stay in nice and close to your body.
Squeeze the
Row, you're
shoulder
working
blades.
with that. And I lost count.
I was just gonna say, I just lost count too.
7. So there's no built-in rest on this one. So the pace will be faster just through that, not having the rest built in. So as soon as you finish those 7 chest presses in that nice bridge position, you're going to come up and get ready to row again.
If you have really light weights on that chest press, don't be afraid to double the number. So do 14, but do 14 quick. You want them to start to feel challenging.
Squat, row. On this one, I'm having to walk my hands way down the band to get a nice resistance. And this is my last one. And notice we're getting up and down a lot. That's the part you can do at your own pace. And I would recommend a very slow lowering of the weights on this one because 7's not a lot of reps. So as you come down, lowering slowly will make it a little more challenging. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds left.
The idea is to get as many reps as you can. So try to keep moving as best you can.
So here, so squat, row, and up. When you come to the top of that squat, after you do the row, you stand up straight and squeeze your buttocks muscles. And you come up to a completely straight position.
Awesome job, guys. When you're squatting, do try to keep a forward gaze. So try to look ahead instead of bending at your back. So look ahead, keep your chest up. Nice. I'm seeing some heads go down. So if you can, try to keep a forward, looking forward.
Nice slow pace on that chest press on the way down. Your hips, don't let them drop. They're up nice and high bridge. You can also get up on your heels to make the bridge a little more challenging.
And with light weights, I'm still doing 14, making them a little bit quicker. So figure out the best way with the equipment that we have.
So add enough resistance to your band by moving your hands down closer to your feet.
Try to squat down a little lower if you can. Reach back for that wall or chair if you need to. I believe we're almost there. So keep pushing through.
In the bridge, move your feet fairly close to your buttocks. That's going to make it a little more challenging, better form. Squeeze those glute muscles. And a slow lowering of the dumbbells. This is where having a fairly heavy weight will give you more of a challenge. 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Let's see.
Last minute.
1, 2, 3, 4. Moving right along. "36 seconds. See how many reps you can get in." Getting up and down like this is going to change your fitness level, that alone.
3, 2, 1. Your timer is complete.
Right to the end. Okay. So we have 2 more exercises for 7 minutes. And the first one, Alyssa's going to demonstrate a plank, a straight arm plank.
So for this one, you can go on the ground or you can use a chair or a raised surface if the ground is too difficult. So all you're going to do is come down on the ground, get your body in a straight line and really push through your shoulders. If this is pretty easy for you, you can add in a few different things. You can reach your arm forward, trying to keep your hips as quiet as you can. Or you can raise one leg and alternate that way. Or you can even bring it to just a slow mountain climber. But like I said, you can go to a higher surface like a chair and do a plank that way. It's going to be a little bit easier.
Here's one.
So for this one, you either count to 14 or do 14 arm raises, leg raises, whatever you need, but we're going to go with 14 on this one.
So that would really come to 7 on each side if you were using your arms for legs, right?
Yes. Or if you're just holding it, count to 14.
So now we're going to do a bent over row. You need 2 dumbbells. I would call them medium weight. You're going to bend over with your hips back. The dumbbells are together at the bottom and leading with your elbows. You're going to come up, squeezing your shoulder blades together. So here we go. I'll get the timer started. There'll be a 5-second warm up and right into that plank.
Warm up.
Straight arm
3,
plank.
2, 1. Exercise 1.
This is another variation we didn't talk about. I'm rotating my plank.
And then we're doing 7 bent over rows. Again, if you do have lighter weights and it feels pretty easy, you can bump it up to 14 and just increase the speed a little bit. If you have moderate weights, stick with 7 and make sure the movement is really controlled down and up.
So leading with those elbows.
Remember, this is your workout, so make it as easy or as hard as you feel like you need to. In the plank, really try not to push your shoulders back. I see this a lot, and that can actually be not very comfortable on your shoulders. So make sure your hands are stacked right underneath your shoulders when you're doing a plank. Whether you're on a raised surface or not, a raised surface, it's easier to push back. So be mindful of that. Your shoulders should be very active in a plank. On this one, just keep your knees slightly bent. Try not to have them locked out. Knees are slightly bent and you're just opening and coming back. Opening and coming back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top. Opening and coming back. For the plank, try not to go to your knees. If you need to make it easier, go to a higher surface so your body stays straight.
I'm doing different tricks for each round.
Some variety is good.
Did my arms last time, legs this time. I did the star the first time.
Keep going. How are we looking on time?
3 minutes and 36 seconds.
All right. So we're over halfway.
That's halfway.
There's
So this should start to get difficult. Don't be afraid of that. That is when we build strength. Rest as you need to, but this should be getting difficult.
if you're trying this side plank, your feet are apart. As I rotate, they both turn in the same direction, toe to heel. Woo! 2 minutes and a half. I did the star last time. This time I'm going to reach my arms forward. Hips are down. Try not to rotate them at all.
And if you want to walk your feet out wider, as the plank gets a little harder, it's going to make it a little bit easier to still do those movements. All right, finish out strong though. Keep going.
Get near the end.
Especially under fatigue, that's when this gets most important.
1.5 minutes right here.
90 seconds, that's it.
you are lifting an arm or leg, the pace is slow and it's low. It's not a big movement. Just lifting a few inches. You always do a little child's pose. That's my reward. You can see not having a break can really spice it up. But if you're new, you want to extend the breaks and make sure it's not too much. We want you not to give up because it's too much. 10 seconds.
Three, two,
Right
one.
to the very end.
Your timer is complete.
Beautiful.
All right.
Well, the next one, we get to start lying on our back. That's nice. This is a dead bug. And a dead bug essentially is tapping the heel of the foot. I'm keeping a 90-degree angle. So that means I'm tapping out. It's not like lower your leg. It's tap it out. You're going to feel much more of an effort. It's alternating legs, so it's tap, tap. You can do various things with your arms. This time, we're going to take the band before we start, straight arms, and pull them apart. You're going to feel your abdominals become engaged. You're going to hold that as you do the dead bug. Okay.
Okay, now for the second one, this is going to give you a little bit of a break because we're going to be using this small circle resistance band. And what you're going to do is you're going to put it around your ankles and take your feet apart so you have some resistance in that band. Now you're just going to take a couple steps one way and a couple steps the other way. This is going to light up your outside hips, but when you take a step, I want you to be very deliberate, full foot, kind of like you're stomping versus sliding your foot. No sliding, actually pick your foot up and just go a few steps one way and a few steps the other way, accumulating about 14 total steps. For the dead bugs, you can try to keep the band on, or the best way probably would be to take it off or just have it on one foot. And then, so we'll have to put it on each time, but that'll give you a little bit of rest. Okay?
Should I start the timer?
7 minutes.
Warm up.
We have 2 more of these, so we're in the home stretch.
1. Exercise 1.
Hold the arms straight ahead. Pull the band apart. Bring your legs up. Bend your knees. Pull the bands apart as you lower your heel as slow as you can. And you're tapping your heel. Your leg keeps that 90-degree angle as you tap outward.
And we're doing 7 or 14?
7.
Okay.
Well, it's 14 if you count each side.
Oh, 7 each side. Okay.
I'm going to do one extra because I lost count. Okay.
If you don't have bands, one thing you can do is take your bands with their handles, step on it, cross the handles, pull up, and you can sidestep this way too. So you're crossing the handles, pull up so you have some tension, and then step this way. And if this is easier than putting the band on and off, you can absolutely do this too.
For me, Alyssa, if it bothers my knees a little more if I do it on my ankle. I don't know exactly why. So
versus your knees. Yeah. It could just be the force. It's just pulling your knees maybe inward a little bit when you have it on your ankles.
We're
So
trying
just
not to go side to side, so your body stays with you.
and just accumulate 14 steps total. And then you're back down on the ground. You should really start to feel your outside hips start to talk to you a little bit.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Lots of resistance with that band. And you should be able to feel your core lit up. Bend your legs and come down and tap the heel. I did mine too fast, so I want to slow it down. The slower you go, the more work you're going to get in your core. You should feel your whole core working on this one. Feel the lower abdominal muscles working as I lower my foot. As you lower, squeeze your back onto the mat to avoid arching. You're engaging your abdominal muscles to press your back into the mat. Huh?
So if you're using the band with the handles, I just want to show you up close here. Step on it, cross, pull up, and step this way.
Wow, that's a good. Yes.
Almost everyone can benefit from this exercise, no matter who you are or what type of fitness background you have.
Yeah, these two exercises don't feel as strenuous as something like a push-up yet. They're really, really effective in strengthening.
It's all about control on these two.
Don't forget to press your back in. Two minutes and 18 seconds left. Time flies when you're having fun.
Remember to step with that flat foot. Don't slide your foot, actually pick it up and put it on the ground.
Back to up and down off that mat. When you have your legs up in the air and they're bent, you want a 90-degree angle.
Almost there. Keep pushing.
Woo. 20 seconds.
All right. We're in the home stretch.
Can I get in?
3, 2, 1.
See what you can do.
Your timer is
20
complete.
seconds. So keep going to the very end. I got a whole set of those in. Yay. And the last one. This is another core exercise. We're getting a lot of core work today. The band goes under your foot. You're going to hold the band wherever comfortable. And you're just merely going to press it out straight in front of your chest. So your shoulders are back and down. So you get the band right in front of your chest and press out.
I like to hold it like this, but if you want to, if you can hold it like this too, that is totally fine. But you're just using one handle and you're pressing it straight out. Really think about your core on this one though. We don't want to arch. We want to keep everything nice and quiet through the torso, and you're just pressing straight up. You want the resistance to be pretty heavy through here. So just move your foot. Move your foot closer for more, and move your foot further away for less resistance. So find a good resistance that you can stick with there. Like I said, hanging on to it like this. You can go like this, whatever is comfortable for you and your band.
And I'm going to start on one side. The next time I'll put it under the other foot and do it from here. Okay, and the second one is a kettlebell swing. Do you want to show that one?
Yes, so a kettlebell or dumbbell swing. So this one, we are not going to the floor. So you're going to grab one weight. Now, what you're going to do, and I want everyone to try this before grabbing a weight. I want you to take one hand, put it out in front of you like this. Okay, now the movement, bending, slight bend in the knees, but you're bending at the hips, reaching back for a wall. That hand comes between your legs and you're squeezing and bringing that hand forward. Switch. Other hand comes down, squeeze it forward. Switch. Comes down, squeeze it forward. Now, one of the things that people do is we go like this. I want you to keep a forward gaze and squeeze and switch. Now you're going to do this with a dumbbell. And this should be primarily in your hips. This should not be an arm exercise. So when you add a dumbbell, the movement stays exactly the same. You're going to come between your legs, bend at the hips, squeeze and switch hands. Come through and squeeze. We want to avoid this. You want to stay as straight up as you can.
Okay.
Really focus on using those hips, okay?
I'll get it started. Here we go. 5-second warm up. Get your band.
3, 2.
Put it under the
1.
right.
Exercise
side.
1.
Get lots of tension. I've got the handle. I'm pressing it out.
So let's do 14 each exercise, 14 of them. So you're pressing up. Really think about your core here. Make sure you're breathing though too. This is not bear down and hold your core muscles tight. This is breathe in and out. And then once you have 14 of these, then we'll go 14 swings. If you feel it in your low back, you're not using your hips enough. Bring that weight through, squeeze, and switch hands, squeeze. The heavier the weight, the more power you need to squeeze forward. The lighter the weight, the easier it is to overextend. So make sure you're mindful of your position. And we're doing 14. This should get your heart rate going up a little bit.
I like that.
Use those hips how they're meant to be used.
Woo!
And the more repetitions you get at that, the better it will feel too.
Now I'm putting it under my left foot because it's going to get a little more emphasis on the left side, abdominals, the obliques. I'm going to increase my resistance.
Remember, these should feel difficult. So if it feels pretty easy, move it up. You'll get more out of it. Keep it at about your belly button as you press. We don't want to be up here.
Shoulders are back and down.
You'll feel this in the arms too a little bit. I keep losing count, so I'm going to follow along with you.
Okay. Here we go for 7 on each side. 1, 2, or is that?
Use your hips. Squeeze your hips forward. Bring the weight just about parallel with the floor. You don't have to go way up.
6, 7. I guess we're doing 14.
Yes, 14.
9.
Slight bend in the knees.
Snap
Straighten
those
the
hips.
top.
I could never lift this weight with my arms.
Yes, so that's a good point. Usually for this, you can do a decent amount of weight
That's halfway.
because you're using your momentum and you're not just using strict strength.
I like to demonstrate this. See, I can't lift this weight.
Yeah.
Hips, hop it up with one hand.
Really think about on this one, like breathing in as you push out and then exhaling as you come back in. Because a lot of times we hold our breath, which is not good when we're doing core exercises. So breathe in and out as you bring it in, or vice versa, whatever feels good to you. Just keep a nice position through here. We don't want to arch. We want to stay nice and stable. As we press in and press out, focus on breathing, focus on your core.
This is deceivingly hard.
Slow and controlled.
See, my waist just pops right up because my hips snap forward and it's lifting that weight with my hips. My arms are like wet noodles. They're not doing hardly any work, hardly.
Exactly. You could almost throw the weight to the other hand and catch it.
I lost count.
With the momentum. Granted, I have 3 pounds, so it's okay. But
I'm gonna do 2 more. Here's 1 and 2. 1.5 minutes. Whew. I'm switching sides.
you got off the hook on getting to the floor on this one. So keep moving as much as you can. Breathe in, breathe out. If you feel this in your back, the resistance is too much. So modify the resistance.
Whew. 41 seconds. Plenty of time.
Keep going. We're almost there.
Six seconds.
Finish it out.
2, 1. Your timer is complete.
I'm gonna finish my 14.
Nice.
Woo!
Okay, so for this one, while we're still standing here, I just want you to reach down to your toes and then come back up. Feel a nice stretch kind of in that lower back. And just come up nice and slow. Stay down here for as long as you need to. And then slowly work your way up. Let's just do 2 or 3 more. Feel that stretch. 2 more. Try to touch your ankles or the floor if you can. And last one. Down and up.
And another stretch for that hamstrings, but this time we can work on balance. Your hands face the ceiling, and you're just gonna bring your leg up. And if you're able, lower down so your body's parallel with the floor, and come back up and rest your foot, and do 3 more. 1, 2. Whoops, sometimes they go awry.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, everything is very difficult.
So 4 on each side, so you don't have to go so far. You can just go a little ways or aim to go all the way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Woo!
Okay, now just standing, hanging onto something, just raise up on your toes and then come back down. Just like a calf raise where you're raising up on your toes and then coming back down. Hang on though, because it's not meant to necessarily be a balance exercise. You'll get more range of motion if you are holding on to something. All the way up and then come back down. Just 5 more here. 5, 4. If you want to, you can rock back and lift your toes up. Raise up on your heels, lift up on your toes. 3, 2, and last one. All right.
I guess we don't. Okay. What, do you have another one, Alyssa?
Just raise one leg up at a time. If you can grab it, or you can hang on to something and grab a hold of one leg and then switch. Or you can just stand up against a wall, lift and hold. Just do a few lifts. Every lift or so, you can see if you can bring that knee up to your chest, leaning against a wall. If you can work balance and just stand in place. 3,
That's great.
2, and 1 more. And then last thing, just open your arms out big and wide and then bring them in. Get as far as you can, hugging yourself. Open all the way big and all the way. Wrap your arms as tight as you can. And then just do 3 more here. Open up big, wrap them around all the way. And 1 more here. Open all the way up and then squeeze them. All right.
And congratulate yourself for being here, for coming. You're the one
Yes, we made it.